Hello everyone and welcome to yet another episode of the series called Hometowns. Today, already zoomed in here, we'll be going, well, not to Chicago, we all wish, but to this little, once upon a time, not so little town called Gary, famous for its abandonment of houses, crime and all sorts of things, and also, amongst other things, famous for being the home of the Jackson family, in particular Michael Jackson, that I'm interested here in this video. Now the home of Michael Jackson is here on the corner of Jackson Street and West 23rd Avenue. Wow, they're both called Jackson Street. I don't think it was always called Jackson Street. Maybe it was. Maybe it was named after them. Maybe Michael Jackson is named after Jackson Street. Well, I wish I knew this now, but okay. Let's just go in and see what we find. Already a neighborhood that now doesn't look great. Not overwhelming. Well, this house, the Jackson family home, is kept well, but the rest of it, just across the road, well, let's get to that later, I shall say. Here it is. It's a 2-bedroom house where they lived with a big family, Jackson and his siblings. Certainly there were 4 other people. Jackson 5 must be Michael Jackson plus 4. Plus the parents, plus maybe some others who are not in Jackson 5. And yeah, there are all sorts of locks here. People have sworn to their love to one another or to Michael Jackson. And this is the house, well kept. I don't know why the house next to it is also well kept. Maybe it's part of it? Maybe it is. Who knows? But yeah, pretty unobtrusive tiny little shed that only really sticks out because it is kept well. Yeah, what a place, huh? What a place. I suppose when they lived here, which is, yeah, I don't know, 50s, 60s, 70s, before they moved to Encina in California or something like this, the city was very, very different. So it's hard to imagine that nowadays. But back in the days, this was a flourishing town with lots of jobs and, you know, steel industry. And yeah, just didn't have this miserable vibe to it that it has nowadays. I mean, if it wasn't Michael Jackson, this house would be looking like this now. Or maybe even worse, because no one would have kept it. But apart from that, here we see the house from the other side. There's, I guess, no one living there anymore. And it's kind of a whole compound of small little houses. Maybe they're all owned by the Jackson family. I believe still to this day, this house or this compound of a few houses is owned by someone from the Jackson family. Not so much the Neverland Ranch that was bought by somebody else. Boopy, Rupee, whatever it says there, Boopy. Yeah, but pretty unremarkable as well as remarkable given where it is. I don't think we can. I mean, there's a photo point inside. That doesn't necessarily mean much. Actually, let me have a quick look if there are any pictures from inside. Well, there's this, which is, you gave us a life of love note on the ground, which is nice. 1958 he was born, so he lived here in 1958. There's also this, Michael Jackson, in loving memory. 2009 he passed away. God, it feels like it was only 2 years ago. Little statue. Loads of stickers on the one-way street. Jackson's family home. Tja, what is this? Is it inside? Or is it just some memorabilia? Home of the world famous Jackson 5. 2300 Jackson Street, which was also the name of their 1989 album, as I've just learned. Because I actually don't really listen to the music, which is a poor giveaway at this moment in time. You get snow. And yeah, 1,000 times more of the same picture. So, for that reason, I want to show you a little bit of Gary, Indiana, now home to 65,000 people back in the days, home to many more, 80,000 and whatnot. And it is a place that is notorious for run-downness. You can see other YouTubers driving through here with a car, certainly not walking through, because it would be too dangerous. Also because it's the US and no one walks anywhere ever. But yeah, much like some parts of Detroit, loads of empty lots, run-down houses. Sometimes there are houses where it seems that someone is living, which to me, stupid white European, seems very strange in a way, because who would live in the middle of loads of destroyed and abandoned houses, despite maybe their own house being quite nice? You know, who would do such a thing? It's very hard to see any soul walking around. And even, I think this tells you a lot, even in the broadest daylight here, this looks absolutely sketchy. And I mean, look at this house. Once a beautiful house, now would you go in there? No. Has it burned already? Yes. Might there be someone in there? Well, probably not, but who knows? Well, here is a resident. But, well, interesting entrance design. Yeah, and it's really one of these places where clicking around is definitely worth it, because you're gonna see loads of strange remnants of people that once lived there. There are also nicer parts of Gary, but generally, like this one here, for example, better kept with this UFO that says Gary on it, which is kind of a landmark on its own, really. To love God and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. All humanity is your neighbor. Religion seems to play a role here in this little community garden. Actually, a fairly interesting place. Back then it was really just a city, you know. Now it's kind of more interesting for our purposes. Wow. What a funny little silo it is there. And yeah, I checked, there is in Gary itself these rundown houses, cars. Oh my god, look at this. Ugh. Is well, that's the side worth seeing. There isn't anything other here, to my mind, that reminds of Michael Jackson. We can have a quick look at some murals in New York, and one I also found in Paris, or even some newer developments here. Well, why not? Some abandoned something. Maybe that was a church, but it doesn't have a tower. Probably wasn't a church. Yeah, some murals, you know, just to remember him. I guess there are also some statues somewhere, but the ones I found looked not really so much worth, you know, to be put in this video. And yeah, houses like this, empty plots, in different conditions, strange things on the side of the road, like this here. Perhaps someone passed away here. Possible. You will find all over Gary, which is, yeah, I mean, look here, completely abandoned houses, but there are all these cars. I mean, what a street. But I don't think these cars are actually owned by anyone, although the tires are not necessarily all flat. Wow. My god, what even happened here, you know? Is it really looking like this when people just move away and no one takes care of it anymore? Even a motorbike. Wow, this is really dump street. But this one, yeah, maybe someone lives here. Maybe you get really used to it. I mean, I guess, you know, poverty, drugs, health-related issues. Welcome to blah, 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 Bergen Street Block Club. Yeah. Yeah, and Gary is really like I mean, yeah, it doesn't get so much worse than this. Even when I made these videos about Baltimore and Camden, I mean, it's not that these parts are so much rougher. Maybe I should come back to Gary and make like my favorite selection of most rundown street scenes to be found on Google Maps. But let's have a look at these Michael Jackson murals that I want to show you. One is here on 11th Street in New York, rather famous. There it is, just behind this rice burger, feed your soul, with a lamb over rice, chicken over rice. Oh yeah, why not? But there it is, Michael Jackson, and this is this a young and an old Michael Jackson? Or is this someone else? Oh god. I should really know this. Maybe it's written in the comments. The mural is pretty and the area is lit. Yeah, I believe it. But what are we looking at? Young and old Michael Jackson? Brazilian artist Eduardo Cobra in Manhattan, New York City is a stunning work that pays tribute, located on the wall. His youth as a member of the Jackson 5. Yes, so it is him young and it is him older. Here we see it better. Actually, really nice, huh? I'm not so much into this geometric art. If the faces would have just kind of faded into one another, I would have preferred it. But what do I have to say? I think that's rather beautiful. Well, and there's supposed to be one as well in Paris for whatever reason. I guess if someone feels just a calling to make a Michael Jackson mural, then they will. And here is a picture of Louise Michel and a little supermarket. How refreshing to be in Paris after Gary, huh? What bigger contrast could there be? I guess no bigger. Fresque Murale de Michael-Jackson. Ah, here it is. Yeah, this is nice. Probably people take a lot of pictures here. Well, there's not a single photo point. Well, what do I know? But this style looks cool. This like rip off sort of style, you know? I don't know if it's ripped off or like colorful underneath and then black on top and then you rip it off, or it's just done differently. Well, there are loads of people remembered here. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that is. Pretty interesting little spot. And yeah, Michael Jackson, of course, died from overdose in his home in the Neverland Ranch, where we cannot go, but we can look at the gates, which is, I believe they're already famous. Here they are, these flowery, cute little gates, school zone, yeah. Very, very different and very, very private, extremely private. This is a big area and there are various parts of it. And yeah, so this is beginning and end of Michael Jackson. I should really stop showing also the ends. This is more about where people come from and what kind of background they have, to understand them better as a person, hopefully. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you, or you see me first. Let me know then. Bye bye.